Hello. Hello, fire signs. This is going to be the fire sign reading for this week, and I have put the date in the title. But these are basically timeless readings also, so if you stumble across it at a later date, it might still apply to you. Fire signs for the readings this week. I will be using the Omni Tarot by Olivia Healy, and we will go ahead and get started with some intention setting and purifying the space. This candle smells really good. It is from Target. And if you would, just take some nice, refreshing, deep breaths. Let them out nicely. No need to get too harsh or anything like that. Taking nice deep breaths is a good way to stimulate the vagus nerve, which is the nerve that helps all the different autonomic parts of the body to talk to one another. So it's the biggest communication network within the human body. And just kind of look at the little dancing flames and set your intention for the reading. What is it that you would like to know? Are there any problems that you'd like to solve in your life? And don't think about it like, oh, I hate my coworker or anything like that. Think about it like, how can I make it so my coworker and I never have to interact again? Because that would be for both of your mutual benefit, right? Alright, so take a couple more deep breaths. We're going to start with the fire sign of Aries. And I'm doing the fire signs today because today is Tuesday, which is aligned with the planet Mars. And Mars has a very fiery nature. So that is why I'm doing the fire signs today. I will probably end up doing earth signs on Thursday, which Jupiter is also aligned with element of fire, but has to do with also expansion and wealth, and so could be tied in with the suit of pentacles and therefore assigned to the planet or to the element of earth. So that is how I'm tying that together. guess I could do the earth signs tomorrow, because that would be Mercury, which can be air, could be earth, but then the air signs would have to be on Thursday. So Aries, just take a moment to set your intention. I'm almost done shuffling your cards, and then I will deal them out for you. And I also wanted to mention that there will be an extended crystal scrying forecast on the members side of the channel, if that interests you. Interesting. Very interesting. All right. Oh, what do we have here, Aries? Aries. Are you gonna be mad at me if I drink some of my tea? Okay. Aries, here in the past, we have the Nine of Cups in the reverse. Now, this Nine of Cups reversed like this is speaking to a time in the past when you had contentment, fulfillment, wish fulfillment, that perhaps there was a wish of yours or a dream that came true. And so you're coming out of this period. And now we're moving into the Page of Pentacles, crossed by the Lover's card. So the Page of Pentacles here, let's focus on that for a minute. This Page of Pentacles usually has to do with an offer of money. And so could be a new job being offered to you, or some other form of income, another income stream being offered to you. Now this card is in the reverse, so that can be talking about a job search. So you had some fulfillment in the past, and now you're on a job search. We have the Lover's card coming out with this, and this can be about Gemini energy, but Gemini energy is about duality and opposition of forces, and the Lover's card can also be about choices. So you might have a choice between two different career paths that you could take, Aries, and you are a bit conflicted about that, possibly, and it is making it more difficult for you to kind of continue your job search in a directed way. Another thing that the Lover's card could mean here is that you're in a partnership where you maybe didn't have to work in the past, but now things have changed in your relationship, and it's time for you to go back out into the workforce. So those things are both possible. Down here in the Imam Silai, we have the King of Cups. This is going to be all of the actions that drive what eventually happens in the midheaven or destiny. So, the King of Cups here is a very paternal, nurturing force. This is air of water energy, like a beautiful sea breeze, blowing into your life and fixing everything, sending you to college, giving you fatherly advice from within his well-appointed mahogany study that always smells like pipe tobacco and leather, right? Somebody who's very nurturing, in an active way. Queen of Cups is very nurturing in a more passive way, more feminine energy. This could be somebody who is going to be nurturing you, or you could be a provider for others, and thus be taking on the King of Cups role yourself. From your perspective, we have the Six of Wands. This is a card of victory, and it is fire sign energy. So the Six of Wands is a parade, celebration of success, and this could still be related to whatever this Nine of Cups in the reverse is from the past. It could be something that you are still celebrating. And here from the other side, this is outsiders' perspectives on your situation. This could be a partner's perspective. It could be a boss's perspective. It could be any number of people in your life. And we have the Ten of Wands in the reverse. This is you, Aries, casting off burdens. So that is a very good energy to be embracing at this time, indeed. Here in the future, we have the Judgment card upright, so no surprises here. You could be up for review at work. You could be up for a new position. There could be another test that you need to complete successfully in order to move into the next phase of your life. Judgment can also be more focused toward the scrutiny of others being directed at you. It's a time of examination and growth. It is a transformation of sorts, but a transformation that would result then in continuing through the major arcana to the World card. Here in the area of hopes and fears, we have the Ace of Cups in the reverse. This is kind of like your spark, your passion for life. The Ace of Wands is much more like directed, active passion. But the Ace of Cups would be your emotional bond to your life. This is the way you feel about your life. And you're worried that you've lost it, that you're disconnected, that emotionally you feel kind of distant from everything that's going on right now, because it does look very good. We do have in the midheaven a very interesting development. We have here the Five of Cups, and it is upright. I think you know that this energy, the King of Cups, is going to lead you to disappointment. So either this King of Cups is somebody who is supporting you, and you know that you need to be out and more independent on your own. And that could be what we're seeing here with the Page of Pentacles crossed by the Lover's card. If this King of Cups is making it so you don't have to work, then you don't get to enjoy the fulfillment of pursuing your life's passion. That's possible. because this Page of Pentacles doesn't just have to be any old job. This is probably not working at Starbucks or something like that. It could be an investment opportunity. It could be any number of opportunities to earn money, that if this person is providing for you and it's not necessary for you to do these things, you might not end up pursuing them. So it's really going to depend on this period of judgment in the immediate future. Now, the Five of Cups is a card of disappointment, so it's not necessarily, this is kind of like how the Nine of Swords is about anxiety. These are very internal conditions to us, very particular to each of us. So, such that disappointment is what you make of it. And I don't mean to harbor it on it like this. And I think it has a lot to do with your state of mind, because I kind of feel like you've lost passion and you've lost that emotional connection to self. And that's where that disappointment stems from. So I would urge you to spend this time getting in touch deeply with the self. We do have a lot of cups in this reading. For a fire sign reading, we do have a few wands as well. And the final outcome, we have the Three of Wands. And this Three of Wands is things returning to you from energies that you put out in the past. You have sent out expeditions, and now they are returning to you with news from foreign lands. So Aries, I think the crux of your reading this week is just the idea that you need to focus more on your own personal development emotionally, and if that comes through this financial opportunity, I would urge you to take it, regardless of what anyone else says. The King of Cups is up right here. I don't think this person is discouraging you from doing something, but I do think that possibly they're making it easier for you not to do it. Okay, Aries, that concludes your reading for this week. Let's move on now to the sign of Leo. So Leos, if you would just take some time while I shuffle the cards and write down the timestamp to reflect on your current energies and consider what it is that you would like to bring into your life moving forward. Remember, it could be this week, this month, this year. We're very fresh into a new year, of course. It is winter here in the United States. And just consider if you have any issues going on in your life you'd like to address, how you'd like to move forward with those. All right. Interesting. We do have a lot of reversals here. Not exclusively, and not necessarily bad. All right, Leo, let's start here in the past. We have the Ten of Cups, and it's upright. The Ten of Cups is a card of emotional fulfillment. So you can see these two people are staring intently at each other, or possibly at this chalice that stands between them, from which the rainbow issues forth. Because this card is upright, I would take that to mean that you are still kind of in this place of emotional fulfillment. But this is going to be the start of where the action moves from henceforth. Here in the current situation, we have the Ace of Swords in the reverse. There could be crucial changes that you desire to make, or that you need to make to move forward. And it's possible that you're either not ready to make the proper changes that you need to make, or for whatever reason, this process has been slowed down for you. Now, we have the Knight of Wands crossing this, so I think that you're very eager to move forward, Leo. Knight of Wands is fire of fire energy, quite literally burning the candle at both ends. And to me, that says that you're putting a lot of energy into trying to get this new start. And that perhaps what you've been doing hasn't worked yet. But I do see that you're putting a lot of energy into that new start. Down here in the Imam Silai, so these are all the events that are going to directly lead to the midheaven or destiny. This is the origin of that. We have the Four of Wands here. And the Four of Wands is about celebration. So where this card is reversed, you could be keeping yourself from celebration. Maybe you didn't go out for New Year's. Maybe you haven't been going to parties, or giving yourself an opportunity to really enjoy and bask in the glory of achievements. Four of Wands can also be a card of marriage, and in the reverse, it could be about a marriage in crisis. That is possible, but that's not necessarily what I'm getting from the rest of the cards here. From your perspective, we have the Queen of Swords reversed. So the Queen of Swords reversed, in this particular case, the Queen of Swords can be very manipulative when she's reversed, very ruthless. But the Queen of Swords is also about speaking one's truth in a situation. And so if you feel like you are not able to communicate your truth to others or to people at large, the Queen of Swords in the reverse would also speak to that. From an outside perspective, we have the Eight of Wands. This is swift closure, and you can see that she's deftly dodging all of these wands. This is not a particularly harsh ending, but it is coming very fast, and there is a lot of closure associated with it. Now, it's very interesting because from an outside perspective, we have this. And then the truth of the matter is that it's half of that and it's reversed. So take from that what you will. That what others perceive as an ending, you might actually perceive as being extra stuck. In the future, we have the Queen of Cups reversed. This could be opening the floodgates of emotion. That this Queen of Cups in the reverse, if you have issues with alcohol specifically, I would say watch out for that. But in addition to that, the Queen of Cups, which is water of water energy, it's doubly passive. She is somebody who keeps her own emotions very closed off in favor of nurturing others. So what I see moving forward is that you might be actually releasing a lot of emotion, and that might be what you need to do in order to get your swords in line. We have that Ace of Swords in the current position, and we have that Queen of Swords from your perspective position. That these are very logical cards. These are very aligned with thinking. It's an active suit, but it could be that the catalyst for this change is going to be this outpouring of your own emotion. Your hopes and fears. We have the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is upright. It's a spiritual leader. This is somebody that others come to get guidance, direction in their own lives, and to help others to have a connection with Source and their higher power. So it could be that you are seeking out a position with the clergy. It could be that you have a tarot YouTube channel. I actually know a lot of the readers mention that they are Leos. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And the Hierophant is also about the status quo. So it could be that you also desire to fit in. And then finally, the Hierophant is associated with the astrological sign of Taurus, which is a fellow fixed sign, Leo, and is very concerned with comfort and safety. And those could be things that you desire at this time. In the midheaven, we have the Death card in the reverse. Now, this could be reversed here for a few reasons. We do see this change coming through that's perceived from the outside, but is not really a reflection of the truth of the matter. People see it as a change, but you might be seeing this as being more stuck. We don't have the Eight of Swords here in this reading, so it's not quite like that kind of stuck. It's kind of like not being able to celebrate one's successes because you feel held back by things. And so this is going to lead to a situation where this transformation may end up being incomplete, or it may be very difficult to get it off the ground. It could also be the kind of sudden change that you are not going to see coming. That's the most likely scenario, I would say. It's just that this is something that you probably will not see coming. And the final outcome that we have now, we have the Queen of Wands in reverse. And Leo, this could very well be you in this reading. The Queen of Wands is a very charismatic person, very good conversationalist, very charming, life of the party, right? Life of this party that isn't happening. So, you could have withdrawn this light from the world. The Queen of Wands can also have a tendency toward being catty in the reverse, in their detriment, and can have a tendency to kind of be backbitey in the reverse. So, definitely look out for those traits. But another reason why this card might be showing up in the reverse is that after or around the time that this transformation that you are not expecting takes place, there is a vast change in your social situation. That is also possible, Leo. So there is a lot to unpack there. And do remember that I will be going over to the members and doing some extended crystal scrying for the fire signs after this. Let us finally move on to the sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius, mutable fire energy. Get out the cards, and as I shuffle Sagittarius, if you would just kind of focus on, well, first of all, relax, and then focus on some things that you'd like to find out more about in this reading. Whether that's problems that you're having that you would like to solve, or perhaps just wanting to know more about the future, what the future holds, or possibly looking for direction. So go ahead and set your intention and resonate with it for a minute as I shuffle and as I write down the timestamp. And then we will get into your reading. All right, Sagittarius. We do have the Temperance card showing up. Always like to see that in my Sagittarius reading. That is your card in the Major Arcana. You have some very powerful Major Arcana cards showing up in your reading this week, Sagittarius. Very interesting. The first of which, but not least of all, first card for you, Sagittarius, is the Emperor card, and it is showing up upright. I think you've gotten everything together very recently. So this is going to be driving a lot of the action in this reading, but I can tell that a lot of major things are happening for you right now because there are so many Major Arcana cards here. The other two signs that I read for had a lot of Minor Arcana and a couple of Major Arcana cards sprinkled in. In your current situation, we have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse. You could be in debt to somebody, and this could be a financial debt, but it could also be an energetic debt. And so crossing that is your card, which is the Temperance card. And the Temperance card is about balance, but is also about mastery and practicing one's skills. one's skills. So if this is an energetic debt for you, Sagittarius, it could be that there is some skill that you have that another person has invested in you, either to build this skill or because they want you to use this skill for their benefit. There could be something like that going on. Down here in the Imam Silai, we have the Three of Swords in the reverse. Now, the Three of Swords is about arguments, dissonance between people. And when it is reversed like this, to me, that says that you are leaving these things behind, that you are no longer taking part in other people's interpersonal conflicts, even if those things are directed at you. Probably especially if those things are directed at you. From your perspective, yes, indeed. We have the High Priestess, and she's upright here, her beautiful pomegranate. Now, the High Priestess is a very closed-off energy. It's a lunar energy. It's a card of mastery. There are many cards of mastery in the major arcana. This is a card of keeping your secrets. Now, she is aligned with the moon, so that could also be water energy. Pisces energy is associated because the moon card is associated with Pisces. And then, of course, the moon's ruling sign is Cancer, so associated with those two water signs. But it makes a lot of sense to me that if you are no longer harboring these energies in your life, that you would be keeping a lot of your own secrets, watching situations from afar, and discerning, a lot of discernment involved in your interactions, limited as they may be, with others. From an outside perspective, someone else might perceive this as having victory over you. That, oh, I've defeated that Sagittarius, because they will no longer engage with me. But I don't think that's necessarily the totality of this situation, right? That's just their perception. But they may be approaching it as, I have defeated you because you will no longer engage with me. Even though the opposite is quite possibly more accurate. So for the future, and this would be very close in the future because this card is upright, we have the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is an offering. This can be an offering of love, an offering of a date, could be an offering of a job, especially if that has to do with your things that you feel strongly about emotionally, something that you're very passionate about. This wouldn't be wands necessarily, but it's a very receptive energy. The pages of the cups, the pages of the cups and the pentacles are both very receptive energies, and that's why we talk about receiving things from other people when they come out. From your hopes and fears, we have the Star card in the reverse. And this card comes out in the reverse when you're wasting your energies on people who don't deserve them. Or, we use these words like deserve, or that they're not going to get you where you need to go. Or I prefer to think of it as like there are people who are vibrationally aligned with your higher purpose. And that's something I think I say a lot in readings, probably too much. I should probably find a few different ways of saying that. Pull out my thesaurus, my spiritual thesaurus, and find some different ways to say that. But basically, you can really tell when people are just think like, man, I probably just am not ever going to see this person again. I think this showing up in your hopes and fears, you're really afraid that you'll end up putting energy into people who are going to use you or are not going to perhaps be interested in a mutual give and take of energy that will be mutually beneficial to both of you, right? Let's think about it that way. And we see that here in this situation, that perhaps you have built up emotional debts with certain people because there's not that flow of energy there. Now, that's kind of on them. That's not really on you. I think that you've been honing discernment, and especially since you have gotten everything together, you've gotten very organized, you've gotten to be in control of your life with the Emperor card there. So I don't think that's as much on you as it is on people who have interacted with you, but it's something that you'll want to be mindful of moving forward, because you could end up not being able to have this. This is also about the flow between people. So it's not necessarily about the balance, it's about the give and take part. This person is holding a scale, right? So there is this idea of balance involved in it, but it's not as much about the equality of situations as it is about that reciprocal give and take, owing and being owed. And that might be something that is going to need a little practice from you, Sagittarius, at this time. The midheaven position. So this is going to be the direct result of not giving in to other people's drama. We have the Queen of Pentacles. You can see there, it looks like she's kind of like pregnant with money. We do have goats on this card. It's associated somewhat with the sign of Capricorn. And then the king, I think, is associated with Taurus. The important part of this is that this card is showing up in the reversed because I think it's going to depend on how you receive this, how you receive people's offerings of emotion moving forward. And the final outcome card is the Justice card. So this is balance. Things will end up achieving balance. And because the card's showing up in the upright, we know that this will be to your benefit. Might not necessarily be to your liking, but do also keep in mind that there's a lot of money to be had. There's a lot of resources to be had. You know, the pentacles aren't just about financial resources. They're also about land, about nice places to live. It's about your clothing, your material, basically everything that's here in the physical, in the 3D. That we're trying to pull things down from the 5D into the 3D. But if you're closed off to that, then you don't get to have them. All right, Sagittarius. Well, thank you so much for joining me for your reading today. And thank you, everyone, for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that you liked it enough to like and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you again very soon. We will be over in the extended shortly. I don't do those as live streams. I record them and then upload them, but they're done in a similar fashion. And that is going to be the crystal scrying. So you'll get a lot of interesting messages if you enjoy more free-form style divination. But I keep it linear, and I do have a message. It's not just free flow. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and I look forward to seeing you again.